Welcome back to part 3 of my stomach cancer journey. And this is the part that I'm going to talk about the surgery. When we met the surgeon, they talked about they weren't sure how far along the tumor is. They know it's stage 3, but they're not sure if it's spread. They also weren't sure if I was going to have a subtotal or a total surgery. Subtotal is having a portion of the stomach removed, or in total is having all of your stomach removed and living without no stomach. And they said that they had to go in to see what type of surgery they'll do, and there were no guarantees. And that was very devastating to hear, because I didn't want to live without a stomach. I could only comprehend that living with a stomach is what I need, because I felt that without a stomach, I would not be able to eat. I would not be able to have energy. I would not be able to have some function of feeling normal. And so we prayed a lot, and we went ahead with the surgery. Before surgery, though, I was very fearful, and I opted in for a laparoscopic surgery just to kind of look inside, and everything looked good, and then had that surgery 2 weeks later. And so I was in the hospital on the first day for surgery. I think it took around between 3 to 6 hours. I forgot. It's been a while, but not well, a long time. And after surgery came out, they were able to tell my husband that they were able to save 10% of my stomach and remove everything. And that the result was that it spread already to only 1 lymph nodes around the stomach, and it has not spread more than that. And so that was very good news, that the chemo was able to kill the tumor and to kill the spread that spread to 1 lymph nodes already. And so they removed 90% of my stomach and that lymph node out of my system, and I'm left with 10% stomach. And so I have the upper portion of the stomach. I don't anything that's on the lower portion of my stomach is removed. And when my husband heard that news, he dropped on his knees and he cried. And I wasn't there, so I didn't know, but his family was able to share this with me because we had been praying and praying so much. When I came into recovery and came into my room, I was alert, and the doctor came in and let me know of all the things that they have told my husband. My first experience coming into the room was taking deep breaths, and I couldn't take deep breaths because of the big incision that they had. So it was right at the sternum of the incision, all the way to my belly button, all the way to the top of my belly button. And so every time I take a deep breath, I'm very sure it would have hurt, but I was on a lot of pain medication, so it didn't hurt. The machine was always beeping that I'm taking a deep breath, and I should not be taking a deep breath. I'm only needing to take shallow breaths. And I was wearing that oxygen, tube on my nose, so that it can help me, give me oxygen to breathe. And I was on that for a few days in order to, recover from everything. I was on very, very high doses of morphine. And during those 10 days that I was hospitalized, they needed to double check that all the incisions that they did within me internally did not create any leaks, and that everything was healing well, and that they needed to check that I'm able to eat and pass stool, pass gas. So I'm able to do all that before I go home. And I hit all of those marks. So one of the things that I do remember in the hospital is with being on very high morphine is I was always cold, and this was not something that was warned to me, or maybe it was, but having a chemo brain, I knew nothing. I don't even remember any much of what was told to me or given to me. But I was always cold, and I was cold the entire 10 days that I was there. It was like 2 days before the last day that I was going to leave, to the last day where I finally realized that, oh, I'm so cold, I need to start wearing warmer clothes, because, you know, they just give you that hospital dress gown that does not even help you. And their blankets are not even warm and thick. And so I was limited in all those things, but I finally told my husband, please bring me some comfortable, warm clothes so that I can stay warm, because I was shivering throughout the night, throughout the day, and all I wanted to do was just rest and didn't want to do anything because I was so cold. Sad thing is that no one understood, no one even considered it, that I was a cancer patient, that my cells and my body's not producing enough heat and I'm always cold. And so 2 days before Christmas, I gotta go home, and I was able to finally recover more than expected, you can say, because I hit all the marks and I went home. But yeah, it wasn't easy going home too, because I'm home with my kids, and I can't move about so much because of the huge incision. But what I did love was being able to sleep in my comfortable warm bed, and that I was able to go home on more better meds and stuff like that, because when I was at the hospital I was on very high doses of morphine and it was making me hallucinate, so much to the point that I can feel my body start twitching and my body start hallucinating. Like I was conscious, but then I was not there physically. And so this kind of freaked out my husband and my relatives a lot, because one minute I was there, the next minute I wasn't there. Even though my eyes were open, even though I was still talking to them, but then I wasn't there. And so it freaked them out a lot. And then we had to have the doctor give me a new type of medication, pain meds that helped me. I also experienced some twitching and jerking of my body on some medications that they gave me, because when I was in the hospital, my muscles, my stomach muscles and abdomen muscles were trying to work, and because I had that huge surgery, I can't work it, but it's wanting to work it. And so I was in a lot of pain, and even though they gave me a huge amount of dose of morphine, it was not helping. I was crying so much, to the point that I tried telling the nurse that I'm in so much pain, I don't know what's wrong with me, even though I'm taking the morphines and all of that on time, I'm still in pain. And so they had to they had to call the doctor to help figure out why I was in pain. I didn't even know why I was in pain, even though I was in a lot of high medications already. And so they finally figured out that it must have been my abdomen muscles trying to do its work and work. And so they had to give me some muscle relaxant to help me be able to relax the muscles so it doesn't like contract so much and I'm not in so much pain. The funny thing is that after taking that for like maybe a night or two, I started having more reactions of my body jerking and twitching, and I would just be sleeping and all of a sudden my hand and my feet would be like twitching and jerking, and you can see my legs and my hand like kicking in the air without me intentionally doing anything. And that was freaking me out too, and also making me wake up during my sleeping times. And I was just wondering what was wrong with me. Was it the medications, that pain meds, that were doing that to me, or what was wrong with me, or something probably made me startle or something like that. And I was just confused. Finally, we figured out that it was the meds that were doing that to me, so they had to kind of switch those meds too. So everything calmed down, and I was able to leave 2 days before Christmas to go home to my family and kids. And so I think I got maybe a month and a half of recovery of the surgery to go back to doing round 2 chemo treatments. And round 2 chemo treatments was doing 4 chemos within 2 months. And so during that time, I didn't want to go back on that. I was just so emotionally depressed and feeling sorry for myself. And now I have no energy because I have no stomach anymore, and I have this new lifestyle that I have to live by, because not having a stomach meant my body had to adjust to what was going inside. Because having a stomach, you have things in your body you're able to hold on to, regulate, and you're not experiencing anything that is complicated or not regular. So after I had the stomach surgery removed, the bathroom was my best friend. I was having leaky stools, leaky urine, and I could not eat anything like solid yet. I had to eat mushy food, and it was worse. The feeling of having leaky stool was worse than having like after you had a gallbladder removed. So when you have a gallbladder removed, your system starts making you have diarrhea if you eat anything that's very oily. Mine was worse than that. So I don't have a gallbladder anymore too. So after taking out the stomach, it was worse than that. I was rushing to the bathroom like every other minute, because anything that I ate came out. And it was not fun. It was not fun adjusting to the new lifestyle in that way. I had to eat consistently every 2 hours. And if I did not eat, or if I forget, or if I ate too little, not enough to help myself, the instant where my blood sugar would drop. It would be at a level of 100, and within seconds that I feel hungry, or actually I didn't feel hungry. When I knew that my system was empty of food, from 100 it would drop all to 0. I would lose all of my energy. My body will flush the into like me looking all pale and white, and I feel like I'm gonna faint. And so these are these experiences that I was having that was even more scarier to me because I didn't expect this. And now I have to live like this. And so I had to really look at and see how to really manage my life now, right? And after removing my stomach, I realized that myself, my body, I have to make myself number one priority over everything. And I cannot not no longer make myself not priority anymore. Because the instant I forget to eat, or the instant I feel like my body is empty, I can pass out that second. And so that made me very fearful, and also made me to be very conscious of staying on top of my health, staying on top of taking care of myself and eating. And the other thing about not having a stomach, or only a small stomach, is there are certain foods that I can't eat, or certain drinks that I can't drink, or sometimes I can't drink too much water, too much liquid. I can't eat too much, certain food that will make me very bloated, that will make me very, will trigger diarrhea in my system. And I will be in the bathroom like for hours. And having just a small stomach, I don't feel the sensation of hunger anymore. When I'm hungry, or I forget to eat, or the instant that I feel empty, I just feel a sense of empty. I feel a sense of lightness in my body only. And I do intuitively know when I need to eat. But the sense of like stomach growling, the sense of feeling hungry, I don't have that feeling anymore. And so sometimes when I'm hungry, I will get a sharp pain right under my ribs, or at the sharp pain right behind my back, the back of my rib. I'll get a sharp pain to tell me that I am hungry. I need to eat. And during those few months into that year after surgery, if I ate more than I could handle, I would get an instant pain all the way up here in the shoulder. And I felt like something was pulling my muscle or tendon, a vein, whatever it was, I did not know. But my doctors couldn't figure out why. But that was just telling me that I kind of overate, or I was eating too much that I didn't pay attention to, that now I'm in pain. And now I can't really move or walk. I have to go lay down on the recliner, or in a reclining position to help that food to move down. And so that sensation, or that pain up here, because I don't feel pain down here, but I feel pain up here, that will slowly go away. And so those were some of my new ways of living with this 10% stomach that was new, scary, frustrating, trying to understand my lifestyle. And now on top of that, I had to go in for the second round of the last chemo treatment. And so I'm going to share this much with you, with my experience here for this part 3. Part 4, where I'll share with you the next couple steps of what happened, and pretty much what am I doing now these days after almost 7 years in remission from my first year that I got diagnosed. So come back and see me in my part 4.